radically changed my own life. I used to live paycheck to paycheck, just getting by, not having enough. There was too much month left at the end of the money. How many know that feeling? Yes? So I want to share with you the first 7 basic principles of 47. There's a lot more to this, but I want to give you the basic 7 that will radically change your life in your home and in your business. Sound good? Okay. So, the basics. Let's start with principle number 1. It's not what you make, but what you keep that determines financial success. Pay yourself first and save what you pay yourself. This is a radical concept. Many of you may be thinking, how in the world am I supposed to do that? How is that going to work? I'll get to that in a second, because it's tied to principle 2. Money is a gift. It has a specific use. This means that you have a stewardship. You are to use your money for something that matters for your family and beyond. How many like the sound of that? So before I get to that, how many of you understand that your home is much like a business? Yes? Many of you are business owners, or you're thinking about starting a business, or you're trying to figure out this entrepreneurship thing. That's why you're here, correct? Right? So what if you take that same concept and say, well, what if I just treat my home life, what if I just treat my family, my home, like a business? If I ran my home like a business, would it be considered a penny stock or a blue chip stock? When I first heard this, I couldn't even qualify as a penny stock, let alone get that far. I didn't have enough because I spent unwisely, like he was talking about. You have to spend wisely. There's 2 parts. You have to make more than you spend. That's the tough part. But you also have to spend less than you make. And there's a concept that we use called the U Inc. investment hierarchy. Level 1, bottom of the pyramid, so to speak, the foundation of your financial well-being is the U Inc. investment. Treat yourself as a business. You Incorporated. Imagine, if you will, all of the people in line at the beginning of the month. They want the rent. They want your car payment. They want your phone payment. They want, you have to pay for your clothes, for your groceries, all of the things that you have that you must spend money on throughout the month in order to survive. And they're all in line saying, I want your money. I want your money. Come on, it's time to pay up. You dig in your pockets, you're like, sorry, I don't have any. There's not enough. Instead of paying all of your other bills first, treat yourself, You Incorporated, as the very first one in line, saying, you pay me first. You take 10%. Anytime you get a paycheck, anytime you get income, you take 10%. And you say, I'm going to put that in You Inc. business account. You create a brand new account separate from all your other accounts. You put that in the bank. You say, this is You Incorporated. This is my company, me personally. 10% every month goes into that account. You don't touch it, but only for absolute emergencies. And by emergency, it doesn't mean that next great deal. Well, they've only got one of those in stock. Well, it's the right color. It's the last one. It's only so much. That's not an emergency, right? I'm sure maybe many of you are like me. When I could not afford things, I was having to skip meals because I could not afford them. I would go to work, I would show up, I would have my lunch break, and I would go out in my car and I would start reading because I was a little bit embarrassed I couldn't afford lunch. Maybe some of you have been there. But taking 10% every single month, every 2 weeks, every day, whatever it is, however you get paid, every time you get paid, you take 10%, you put it in the account, and don't touch it. Now imagine 10 months into that. After 10 months, you have a full month of income saved in that account. Add another 10 months, you've got a second month. After another 10 months, you've got another full month saved up. Don't touch it, leave it there. Start creating that snowball. Let it get bigger, let it get bigger, let it get bigger, bigger, bigger. Never take a chunk out of your snowball because it compounds. It gets bigger the longer it's in there and the longer it's not touched. You with me so far? Is this a radical concept for you? So, Ben Franklin said, let me look this up so I don't mess it up. Ben Franklin said, if you empty your purse into your head, no man can steal it. And what he meant by that was invest in yourself, in knowledge, in understanding, in reading. Devour everything you can on various subjects related to your field of mastery. Whatever it is that you're called to do, read voraciously. Ben Franklin was known for devouring books, and he wouldn't eat. He didn't spend money going out. He didn't. He would get a couple of loaves of bread, and that was all he had for a while. And instead of eating out and partying and doing all the things with his friends, he was sitting at home reading, gaining mastery in his field. So that investment in yourself is a big piece of that. Taking 10%, putting it away in its own account, investing in yourself. See, financial fitness is like physical fitness. It requires two things: knowing what to do and taking action to do it. There's an old saying, to know and not to do is not to know. I know in my life, there's a lot of things that I've learned that I never put into practice. And I say I know them, but without actually practicing, I don't have a clue. I don't know what it's really like to live in that life because I haven't put those principles into practice. So, the reason that some people have enough money while others constantly struggle financially is simply because those people have learned the principles of financial fitness and consistently apply them, while others do not. So, moving on. There are basically three things that you do with money. You acquire things, you accomplish goals and dreams, and you contribute to causes and people in need. I think that's a large part of why we're here today, because we want to contribute to people who are in need and causes. Right? All right. Principle number 3, live within your means always, no exceptions, period. Follow a good budget. Give each spouse a small allowance so that you have a little discretionary money each month and don't nitpick each other over the little things. This is a big one. If you're married, one of the biggest things you fight over is money. Yes? If you're not giving each other a little bit to have a little discretion over, you begin to get in fights about, well, why did you spend that? What in the world? Why are you going out and spending all this money on that? Well, you spent all this money on that. Well, next thing you know, you're in a knockdown, drag out argument. The sparks start to fly, right? So creating a little bit of margin, giving each other just a little bit extra, figure out a budget, and make that a priority so that each spouse has some discretionary funds so that, if you're, if one spouse doesn't use their allotted money, they can save it up for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then go buy something big. It's their money. It's their discretionary money. No problem. If the other spouse wants to go out and spend it on a whole bunch of little stuff every day, great. That's their money. Go ahead. But then you've already budgeted as a family for everything else, all of your extra needs. So this alone will solve a ton of marriage problems, okay? Nope, we won't go there. Okay, sounds like we're back on. Yay! Thank you, tech people. Can we give these guys a round of applause? They work so hard to keep this thing going. And you guys have some significant challenges. So kudos to you for just making it happen. Thank you. I know it's tough work trying to make everything flow right. So we're going to move on to principle 5. Consistently budget and save for unexpected expenses. Do you know all those unexpected expenses you can actually expect? You have to expect that you're going to have unexpected expenses. So you have to plan for them because they will come up. You will have to replace the headlight on your car. You will have to fix an appliance. You will have to repair the generator. You will have to take care of these things when they come up. So you have to plan for them ahead of time and save a little bit extra, knowing that those things are going to come up. Because if you don't plan for it, you're planning for failure, right? Without a plan, you're planning for failure. So just know that those things are going to happen and put that into a budget. Keeping records, we've been talking about that a lot this week. Making sure that you have a plan. Making sure that you're keeping records. Putting things in order. Having spreadsheets, documentation, saving receipts. All of these things are pieces of that. You don't know what to budget for if you can't go back and look at your spending habits. So take your bank statement, take your receipts, and look at them. Figure out what you spent last month and put it into categories. I spent this much on food. I spent this much on fuel. I spent this much on clothing. I spent this much in all of these different categories. Figure out what you're actually spending, budget, and plan. Plan to put that 10% away into your U Inc. investment. Plan to save a little bit for the unexpected expenses. Which leads us to principle number 6. We do have slides back. There we go. Pay 10% of your income to tithing. Give even if you're already broke. Giving puts you in a mindset of abundance and puts any financial worries in their proper perspective. So it should not be limited to just tithing. The Bible categorizes giving as 1, tithes, and 2, offerings. It's like living like this, how most of us are. I need to hold on to it because there's not enough of it. But instead, God says, no, I created you to live life like this so that I can put it in your hands so that you can then be a blessing and let it go and flow through your hands. Because he created us to be a blessing to others, right? And if we don't live that way, if we don't have a heart that says, I want to be of service, having an abundance mentality, knowing that everything I need, everything that all of my needs in life are supplied and met by his riches and glory. It's not about what I can get. It's about what he can give. So putting yourself in the right mindset allows that generosity and that abundance mentality to flow. And you'd be amazed at how your life begins to affect other people when you start living with that abundance mentality and allowing God to use you in every area of your life, everywhere you go, everybody you meet. When you live it out of generosity, God does something cool with that. in business and in life. So, principle number 7, using your time, money, and talents to genuinely help others naturally increases your happiness. Seeking money for money's sake may or may not influence your happiness, but seeking money in order to fulfill your stewardship and serve and bless others automatically increases it. When you live generously, you're just happier. Even when you don't have enough, even when you feel like there's too much month left at the end of the money, when you live generously, God can use that. God can multiply that. God can bless that. So, with that, I'd like to open it up for any questions. Do we have any questions? Give these guys a minute. We got one right up here, I see. Sorry, can we get him a microphone?
In today's business environment, or do we let it go?
Which mindset?
The mindset of in Nigeria we have a saying that the patient dog eat the fattest bone. In other words, you should be patient with everything, that things will grow. So basically, being patient, working, and being patient without work, they are two different things. So maybe you need to explain that. Is it patiently working or patiently not doing anything? Patiently working. So rephrase the question now.
There we go. Thank you.
Can you hear me? I said my own question I want to ask, is that statement really working for us in this present time? Is it working? That's what I want to know. I said a patient dog eats the fattest bone. Yes. Both in business, in our day-to-day living.
Putting business in your day-to-day living?
Yes.
You mean the idea of using your home and operating it as a business?
Okay.
Is that what you're...
Let me come in here.
Please.
Can I have sound of this?
Okay. Uche?
Talking about waiting, you wait in different ways. Let me say you're working. One of the things that I have problems with Gen Z and millennials, they don't wait. There's a time to develop in business. There's a time to develop in life. So waiting doesn't mean you don't do anything. Even the Bible says, those that wait upon the Lord, he does what? He will renew your strength like an eagle. You will run and not, you'll be weary. You will walk and not faint. So waiting there's an appointed time. There's an appointed time for everything. So sometimes, there's many years ago, I was praying and I was asking international open door, this, that. I kept praying and it was like God was not asking. And but God said that you are not ready. When he finally did answer, you are not ready. Then I continued, I waited, and God now said to me, but the people that will help you, they are not ready. I'm still working on them. You see, he sees everything from area view of all. What are you doing? Have a plan. Focus on that plan. Continue doing that thing. And a day will come. You think I was not in a hurry to get here. This is the 14th edition. And we have not gotten there yet. This is the 14th edition. This is, I know where we are going, but we are not there yet. So you see, I am waiting, but I'm doing something. It's when you wait, and that when you are struggling, it's like when you throw people inside a ditch, and everybody is trying to come out at the same time. The more you struggle, the more you are digging yourself in, the more. So what I would say, what is it? Have a plan. This is where I am. This is where I want to be at the end of the day. And in 5 years, this is where I want. Have a plan and continue doing what you do. Seest thou a man diligent in his business, he will stand before kings. So you do not have, David was just in the backside of nowhere enjoying himself with lions and bears and using them to exercise his muscles. But somebody had him playing the flute. So David was a soldier, right? A soldier. But what took him to the palace? Was it not flute? Huh? Was it not flute? That was what he had. That was what he was doing. And he was a shepherd. One day he became the shepherd of Israel. What am I saying? You don't know when or how these things are going to come. Just keep doing what you're doing, even though it's not what you intend to see. Somebody is watching you playing that flute or whatever you're doing. Recommendation. Joseph was in the dungeon. He was just practicing just to while away time. How I for do? Let me tell you your dream. Let me tell you. But that dream took him to the palace. And I'm sure Joseph would have waited one day and say, God help me. When will I leave this place? But the time comes. You see, what will take you to the palace is that value. Value. So which value are you? Are you interpreting dreams? Can you kill lion and bear? What are you doing? What have you perfected? It is that thing that you have perfected that will announce you. Because if I sit down with you and ask you, what are you doing? Have you gained mastery in that thing that you're doing? Have you done it 10,000 hours? Chinese say when the student is ready, the master will show up. When you get to that point, events will begin to work in your favor. Just keep doing what you're doing, perfecting what you're doing. A day will come. Me and you don't know when and how God wants to do it. But don't be concerned about waiting. It's just like a lady say, "Why I'm 35, I'm not married yet." What if it's in God? I know women will not like to hear this. So what if God said it's 50 years you will get married? You have just stressed yourself for nothing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing. Live about wait. Who gives time? You know, the God that you serve does not live in time, oh.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand time.
Yeah, sure.
So you be seeing my age is 40, my own is 50. But God is moving in seasons and according to his purpose and plan. So guy, perfect what you are doing. A time will come, it will take you to the palace. Thank you.
A round of applause for Pastor Uche.
Yeah, that's great.
God does not live in time. one of the truths that I heard a while ago, and he just re-echoed it again. You know, before I take the next, sorry, sir, before I take the next question, I want to share a joke about this thing that Pastor just talked about. They said an Igbo man died and went to heaven, and he met God. So he now said, finally I'm in heaven. He now asked God, Bianwoke, they told me that when I was reading the Bible, that a day with you is like 1,000 years. God said, yes, that's correct. He said, so which means 1 naira is equal to 1,000 with you. God said, that's very correct. God said, okay, can I have 1 naira? God said, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Did you get that? It means he has to wait for another 1,000 years. So God does not live in time. So be careful when God says, I'll see you tomorrow. So when people come and say, Father, by this time tomorrow, if God takes that your prayer like that, you are literally asking that, see me in 1,000. So let's leave God to do his thing when he wants to do it. Don't put yourself under any pressure. All right, next question, please. All right.
When you were talking about the basic principle, I heard about paying yourself first in every income you get, at least 10%. Let's assume I'm into business. And because of the way our country is, I have borrowed and borrowed. I'm in debt. So I'm in so much debt. And looking at the profits I am making, I want to hasten up this debt fast. Will I still pay this 10% to myself? That is what I want to know. And if I'm not paying this 10% to myself, how will I handle that debt so fast? Thank you.
Great question. This is exactly the situation that I find most Americans are in. Family after family I talk to, they are up to their eyeballs in debt. They have so much debt, like they're literally paying more money to the interest on the debt than they are paying to everything else that they have to do in life. They're spending more money on debt than they are their grocery bill, buying new clothes, all of the things. They can barely afford their car payments, their all the different toys and things that they buy. It's all on debt. Americans are so far in debt, it's unsustainable. It's crazy, and that is the number one reason why it is so important that you have to pay yourself first. Because the credit card companies don't care. They don't care about you. They want their money. You better pay them or they'll come after you, right? But if you don't pay yourself first, you will never experience financial freedom. You pay yourself 10%, you give 10% to tithe and offering, that's 20% of your income. That's a huge chunk. But if you do that over time, a couple of years, you put 10% to tithe, you put 10% to yourself, you Inc. account, special account. Put it in a different bank across town that you can't get to make it difficult on yourself to be able to go pull that money out. Make it hard. Otherwise, it'll be too easy to go take pieces off of that snowball. After you do those two things, and you pay the absolute minimum to all of your debtors, all the credit, all the loans, you pay the absolute minimum payment, then you take care of all your other bills. Anything else that's left, then you go and you pay the highest interest debt first and pay that down as fast as possible. Getting out of debt and staying out of debt takes time. It takes patience. You have to work at it. You have to be super diligent. But once you get out of debt, it is such a load off of your shoulders. The feeling you get when you are absolutely free, and like the Bible says, you owe no man anything but to love him. When you're living that way, you are free. But it takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes patience, but you can do it. So does that help answer your question?
Final question. Oh, wait,
one more?
wait. We're going to take just, he needs three, but I'm seeing two more hands now. Okay, we'll take the three questions at once, and then he addresses all of them at once. I think that works. Okay, keep it brief. Keep it brief.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, sir, you made mention of being
Can you
a
hold the
liberal
mic to
giver.
hold the mic up?
You made mention of being a liberal giver, like giving out so that God can bless you. Now we live in a country where your friends, your siblings, your family, once they notice that you are that person that gives, at every point in time they keep calling you to give. So at what point do you tell them that you don't have anything again to give? Do you understand my question?
Yes, yes. It gets even worse when you have money. When they know you have more money than anyone else in their circle of influence, people come out of the woodworks when they know you have money. Hey, invest in this. Hey, I need help with this. Hey, can you pay my this? It's amazing how many people ask for money when they know you have it. And that's where just having a little bit of wisdom, you will probably make lots of mistakes and give lots of money to the wrong people for the wrong causes, for the wrong things. But that doesn't matter because you're living generously. You'll make a mistake, you'll learn from it. You say, I shouldn't loan to that person anymore. And if your brother or your friend asks for a loan, say, I'll pay you back, I promise. Just give me 5,000 naira. I promise I'll pay you back next week. No. Just know that it's a gift. You'll never see it. Never give them a loan. Just say it's a gift. Live generously. And sometimes God will put on your heart to give to people until it hurts. Sometimes God will say, you need to give that person so much money. You need to give that group so much of your time, so much of your effort. And sometimes, more than not, it'll be inconvenient. And it will disturb your daily activities. Because when God works, it's always inconvenient. It always hurts. It's always God saying, can I test your heart? Are you really generous? Do you really want to serve? Are you really being genuinely interested in helping your fellow man? But figuring out how to live that way and being generous is so life-giving. You know, if you search for happiness and you strive for happiness and you're trying to do everything you can to be happy, you will never attain it. But if you aim to be generous, not just with money, but with your life, happiness becomes the byproduct. And you'll just naturally, simply be happy, give happy, and be generous. So.
Good afternoon, sir. Samuel, principle number 4, you said, do not take advice from a broke man.
Yes.
So here, for me, I think this brokenness is relative.
Mm-hmm.
It's somehow relative. What if the man has some ideas? Maybe he failed in business because maybe he doesn't have enough capital to start off. that's why he's broke at that point in time. And with experience, he can give you some advice that will help you to grow. So what do you say when it comes to that? Because that broke there is somehow relative. Thank you.
Thank you. That great question. Simply just having wisdom. If you know that they're a successful business person that made mistakes and failed and they've been able to learn from those mistakes, yeah, maybe they've already had a level of success and you can trust them to a point. But if it's another relative that's never done anything in business and their life is constantly living with a poverty mentality, broke as a joke, you can kind of see where and how they live, and if they've had any success whatsoever with money, you can kind of gauge how well you should take their advice or not. So just having a little bit of wisdom. Thank you.
Is that the last question? Wow. Okay.
One more?
Wow. Okay, we'll take one more.
Can we get her a mic? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for these principles. Okay, I want to ask, is there a book recommendation? Do you have a book on these principles?
Yes.
Okay. How do we get?
That's a great question. If you want to, can I have her contact you, Uche? And then I'll give you the information, and I can work with that. Yeah, or you can find me, you can connect with me on like Instagram or something and send me a message on Instagram and I can get you the information. I'm connected to Uche, so you can find me that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. Breathin. Short but mighty. Ladies and gentlemen, he's stepping in. Please put your hands together for the mayor of Pitakwa. Just sit down. I'm not bringing you up yet. I'm not bringing you up yet. Thank you very much, K.O. Baba, for coming in. He's one, like I said, I'm not bringing you up now. I'll allow you to settle down a bit. He's one man who has moved from being a comedian to being an inspiration, a movement. We are greatly inspired by the work that you do, from activism to OAP radio shows. You guys were on Comedy House of Assembly this morning. Was that the truth? You know, dissecting the issues from United Nations and how certain politicians' wives went to United Nations with their husbands. The women were only protecting what they have. However, for a country that went to United Nations to ask for debt relief, I think I tend to agree with the Comedy House of Assembly that the delegation should have been less. Because if you are coming, since we're talking about debt and borrowing, if you are coming to meet me that you want me to forgive your debt, you should pretend that you don't have. So you cannot be coming to meet China to forgive your debt with 50 delegates. Hotel, flights, ESTA codes, do you get? But the part I didn't confirm is that is our Vice President restructure actually what? It's more expensive than the restructure of the Chinese and you want me to forgive your debt. I just, you know, sometimes when you people talk on radio, these guys don't listen. But I'm hoping that it will get to them someday. Because it's just common sense. That was a lot of sense for me, actually, even though it was, you know, comically presented, and that's the whole idea, satire. So thank you very much, Keo Baba, for coming. Before we call on Keo Baba for a session, we have a brief interlude. All right. So while Mr. Breathing was talking, the question you asked about how do you pay yourself when you know, our credit system is slightly different from how it is in the US. Who took my phone? Where's my, okay, you're still. You know, the way credit works in Nigeria is a bit different from how it works in the United States. So in America, you have the credit card system and all of those credit things that you can buy stuff and pay later. Even in Nigeria, as we speak, the fastest you can pay for a house from all the estate agencies, estate companies, marketing houses, the fastest that I know is 2 years. Sorry, the shortest term is 2. The federal mortgage that's supposed to give us 30 years, 20 years to pay for a house, it's practically not functioning the way they ought to. So when you're borrowing in Nigeria, you're borrowing very short-term finances, which puts people under a lot of pressure, you know. So the only thing I can add to what he has told you is that just deal with one loan at a time. Okay? Don't borrow. No, just do one at a time. I know we are all in a hurry to progress, to blow, to do all of those things. So you borrow from here, you borrow from here. Sometimes you have about 5 loans running at 30%. It's killing. It's killing. So reduce your borrowing, like Pastor Uche answered the young man. Then the patient come into you, work on that one that you have borrowed until it starts producing before you stretch for the next loan. Don't take loan for school fees, loan for market, loan for... And you shall know your income that you will not be able to meet up. So you can't pay yourself at that point. But on a lighter note, you're already paying yourself. Sure, you still eat food. So that's part payment. All right, for the brief interlude before we bring up Keo Baba for a session, let's have blessing from House of Midani. If I got that correct. Blessing, where are you? A round of applause for her. Is she in the house? Oh, they have some fashion designs, some designs they want to show us. Some models are coming in. Nice one.
The emperor, the conqueror, the champion, the lion is here.
Yeah? Oh, yeah?
Zobu, zobu, reigning by age. Toya dike, lenu dike. Toya dike, lenu dike. Iye jamara dike, ruenu. Ekwe chenjigo. Iye jamara dike, ruenu. Ekwe dagarigo. Omarunga basi.
Hello, everyone. It's a wonderful privilege to be here. You know, the most beautiful thing to have is when you have culture and you remember it. Even if you're wearing a denim, you're wearing something African. It makes you remember your roots. I want to present to you House of Midani. You know, one thing about the African woman is the strength of the African woman. But a lot of time, we the women don't appreciate our strength. I always tell the women, squeeze yourself, stretch yourself. There's so much in you you have not brought out. You see this? I have never drawn anything in my life. This is the first. I did it. The guy charged me for 20,000. I said, 20K. I went to buy acrylic paint. They use it for outfits like this. And I did this myself for the first time in my life. I'm not an artist, but I did this. So when I tell you, you can do something better. Don't appreciate everything you see only on Instagram. You try it on yourself. I did this. Your mind is creative if you open it. There's so much oil in us, but we don't squeeze it. You see, these are beautiful African women representing House of Midane. We are not just about the face. We are about fitting and finishing. The African woman is beautiful. She's strong. She's industrious. She's ambitious. That's why we're here. So if you're here, you're a fashion designer, I want to ginger you, not just motivate you. I know things are not cheap right now, but what else can you add into your business to make a difference? Why will people come and look for you? After all, there are a lot of fashion designers in Port Harcourt. Why are you different? Why are you different from the rest? Make sure there's something particular about you. I told somebody something. I said, right now it's not about the money, it's about the name. Build a brand for yourself. That is the name. When you build a brand, people will look for that brand, not you. First of all, give good services. Give good services. I repeat that, good services. That's one thing we lack. A lot of time we don't, after how much they pay me, I give them the one they pay for. No, sometimes go out of your way to impress your customers. You know, when one customer leaves happy, they tell 1,000. When one leave unhappy, they tell 20,000. That's how bad news spread. So if you're a fashion designer, you're a business person, seriously, events like this don't happen all the time. You pay for them. They are not free. You can't go to some other places, they'll tell you, madam, you have to pay. Because knowledge is paid for. That's why people pay to go to school. You pay to get a degree. So when you learn something from a place like this, take it home. Don't just say they speak English, then do this, then do that, they chop this, they chop that. Pick something out of everything. Knowledge is power. If someone told me 2 months ago I would drug this, me, from where to where? I'm not an artist. How? How can I do this? Like, how? But I did. If I can, you can. My business is in my house. That's one thing you need to know. A lot of people, I can't do it. I don't have a shop. My business is in my house. From my house, I sent to Canada, to London, to America. From my house. Am I lying? From my house. You can start your business from your house. Nigeria is not the Nigeria of before. Nigeria is different now. We see the economy. Nobody's ready to give you 2K anymore. Work your 2K out. There are a lot of talent. I'm sure you learned a lot of things here today. How to save, how to produce, how to make. What are you making? What do you want to make? You can make chinchi and make money. Supply supermarkets. Fish, supply supermarket. Crayfish, supply supermarket. There are a lot of businesses you can learn from this platform. This is my first time coming for Make in Nigeria, and I'm telling you, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud I'm here. I'm really proud of myself. Trust me, every achievement is an achievement. Praise yourself for every step you take. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. You are here, you might not have money, but you have a talent. Use your talent. God gave you for a reason. Thank you so very much for this opportunity and time. I'm grateful. So we are here exhibiting. You can take time to come check on us, and we're doing sales. I know some women like sales.
You know what you do for us? You shift. Let's have the models alone now. Strike a pose. So are you ready with that sound?
Give them.
You turn around, you spin, and then strike a pose. Come on, guys, let's go. Thank you.
Give them.
Give me love, oh. Make we jolly.
Purely African, 100% African,
Make we jolly.
100% Nigeria.
Thank you. That's Swarovski on her legs. You see there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you.
Give me love, oh, baby.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let me bring the podium. I don't think K Baba is coming to crack jokes today. So he means business. We're going to see the business parts of the MD, CEO of Talkaholic Unlimited, producers and marketers of several comedy and entertainment events in and around Nigeria. He's a social commentator and an activist. Little or no introduction. He prides himself, not the mayor of Port Harcourt, but the mayor of where? Pitaqua. And if you know Pitaqua, you know that you are in Pitaqua. So the mayor is here to take his session. Ladies and gentlemen, please, we will take the panel session when K.O. Baba is done for the exhibitors. But for now, let us receive, I wanted to say the ministry of K.O. Baba, and I remember that you have not been ordained. So let's welcome K.O. Baba.
Thank you so much.
Wait, let them take two of us. Where the cameraman? Take two of us.
I need picture how you do collateral for loan. So please make sure I get a copy. Please celebrate my brother Marcus one more time. And then it's always special to ask you to celebrate my pastor, Pastor Uche Anuche. 15 years plus is not easy. Some people can't even do it for 15 days. So that's why you need to appreciate this. I don't know how many minutes I have, but I assume it's 30. I assume it's 30. So I'm going to break my teaching into 3. And I will want you to just follow me, maybe 10, 10, 10. I'm hoping that some of you will leave here and then you will share this with your friends, with people that you know. So I'm speaking to you about the act and business of entertainment. That's what I'm talking about, the act and the business of entertainment. And I will be very simple. I hate when I see my colleagues teach and they are filling it with too much grammar. Sometimes they want to make you feel they are very intelligent. Sometimes they want to impress you. And keep trying to impress somebody without leaving an impression doesn't make any sense for me. So I bring it down. I sound like a layman most times. When I teach people sales and marketing, I don't want to start using SKU, I tell you as it be. How much per unit ready for this store? I tell you as simple, so you have that knowledge. That's the same thing I'll be doing. I'm an entertainer, and I will have a time to tell you a little bit of my story. First thing first, a lot of people know me as a comedian. Abi? Yes. That's not where I started from. I used to do a little bit of motivational speaking. But when I started doing comedy and I noticed that I was having more traction, more engagement, I paused. When you call me to come speak, I said, I need to speak. I had to focus on comedy for a very long time. And when I got to a particular level as a comedian, I had the courage to step out and start talking to people once again. So what's entertainment? Entertainment simply means the activity, any activity that you create, any activity that you provide that can generate enjoyment, amusement, and distraction from the regular activities that has to do with your daily heavy job. Entertainment, listen to it. You see those things that you do to excite, to amuse people. Every time you present it, it brings excitement, it brings amusement, it brings enjoyment. That's what we call entertainment. A few minutes ago, a lady was entertaining us. How many of you know that's entertainment? And I can tell you, it's wide, it's broad. Some of you don't even know that the fashion you are doing is entertainment. Some people don't know that the poems you're writing, you're doing it because you want to entertain. And a lot of persons, especially from this part of our country, see those of us who do entertainment to be low class. And I can tell you, I was talking to my wife a few days ago, and then we were laughing. I said, if I know they do entertainment, I know for the survive, because I own Gen 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. That's how I own my generator. You don't off it. I'm a poor man that is very arrogant. So that my neighbor would just know, say, is that this guy the on Gen long? So I use that one first, get respect. For this guy to the on Gen like this, 10 hours, 12 hours, now in get money, no money, shishi, nowhere. Yeah. But the ability to buy fuel or every day is because I'm an entertainer. Because I know as a civil servant, I wouldn't do it. Because I know I can tell you for free that there is so much money in entertainment. In this country as a whole, entertainment industry is worth over 1 trillion naira. As simple as it sounds. Worth so much, heavy. Because there are other sectors connected to it. My friend 402, the CEO, of 402 MD as he is. Of course, I joke a lot with him, but I can tell him, like I used to tell him most times, he doesn't sing, he doesn't perform, he doesn't dance, because some of you, your eyes are always on who is holding the microphone. Entertainment is way beyond that. Entertainment has a value chain, and you can just tap in and you're making money much more than the guy standing on stage. For instance, my friend has the stage light and everything. Permit me to say. So a few days ago, I got a message from somebody say, I beg you, help us talk to your friend. I said, what happened? He said, give us 10-point-something million naira bill. And they said, now you go fit talk to them. I said, no one, I go talk to them. Now, I can also be very confident. There are people doing business from January to December, put their money together. They've not made a quotation of 10 million naira. So much. So the industry is wide. I've done presentations, I've done events, and you will see my budget is 9 figures. I've worked with people who do a lot of things. So I want you to tap in and understand that the industry is wide, it's massive. In fact, we are the highest employer of unemployed youths. I put that that way. Because a lot of young people in this city do not have work. Guess how they get to make money? It's because we take them as dancers, as ushers, as part of the event team, as people who join the setup, as people who are either joining some decorators. I just finished resolving an issue my friends were having with an event center. And the lady said, because I want to meet up time, I want them to close early. Instead of working with 6 persons now, I'll be working with about 10 persons. So somehow, I just had to call 4 more boys to come and join. Somehow, 4 guys are going to be employed and join it as well. But this is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that you can begin to create things that amuse people, excite people. That's what entertainment is all about. Please, they say, come to the front, come to the front. Let's make it easy. So that's what entertainment is all about. Those activities that you're doing that bring amusement, those activities that you're doing that definitely like the comedy, the music, is way beyond that actually. I'm going to break it down. That some things you don't see is entertainment. All the gaming that you see is entertainment. All those painting that you see people do, it is part of the entertainment. It brings amusement, excitement, a lot. So it's not just about music, comedy, because some of you think, I'm not singing, I'm not doing comedy, I'm not dancing. Entertainment is way beyond that. There's a long chain you need to fit yourself in, and that's basically about the act of entertainment. But the reason why I want to lay my emphasis on talking to you about making money from entertainment is because I feel that is what you need to know the most. The act is simply get on stage or behind stage and be part of those that are trying to carry out the activities that brings the enjoyment, amusement, etc. that I talked about. And that's what a lot of young people know how to do. We have a lot of people who are talented. They can make you laugh. Have you seen people like that? After making you laugh and they ask you get food, have you seen people like that? They can make you dance. When I started comedy, I have this guy. If my colleagues watch this video, they will know him, Oboku. So the guy knows how to talk. We just finished an Arsenal fan. If Arsenal lost a match, he can make you laugh for 10 hours. He's feeling bad, but his way is abusing the players and Arsene Wenger. You will be asking yourself, this guy, very entertaining. So he was doing that and I was doing comedy. And one of the days they had face off. I said, it is this they do not talk. Come, I will carry you go show, then they pay you. He avoided me. There are people like that. I met a friend, very wonderful singer. I've so scared. The first day he sang, we're in his room, he said, I've written song 90-something. He said, I can't face the crowd. I did think like to do, I'm like Lagbaja, but I did feel say, that's how timid he is. Till today, he's not a musician. He was not. Very wonderful singer. So he was in his church choir at some point. He left the choir because he cannot take solo. If he has to sing, they know he has a very good voice. You know, you don't see people where they attend some of these white garment church. You understand what I'm talking about? You will just give me a mic to hide somewhere to sing. There are people. I have seen a young man, wonderful dancer. I've seen some of the finest people that can paint. The problem is not with the capacity. The problem is not with the ability. It's not with the skill set. It's not with the knowledge. We have all of this to entertain people. I've seen wonderful writers. They can write good stories. I've seen somebody that said, I have script for movies. I said, why are you not acting it? He said, I don't have the money. So why are you not selling it? I don't know how to sell it. The problem is not people putting this together. The problem is how you move this from the point where you do it for free or for nothing and begin to make money from it. So I said this over time. My first paid job was 3,000 naira. So I was doing speaking, emceeing, and at a point I was making people laugh, and I started making people laugh. They were inviting me. I was not seeing money in it. But this is the truth. In this industry, in the entertainment industry, we always start from these three levels: free, free will, and fee. Ask everybody you know around us. When you start doing this thing, you are doing it for free. We were doing comedy for free. I was MC event for people for free. I had a particular place I was begging, please let me pay and perform. I talked to some of my proteges last time. I said, and I was telling them, remember when we say, I need to perform for AY Life. So they will send the poster. I will be helping and see how I can get us to post the posters. By then, I don't even collect money, but I didn't have all of these platforms. I was a comedian for many years, for like 5-6 years. Nobody don't put me for in bill. So don't look at it from that point, but look at it. There is something called scalability. I don't know what you get. The ability to scale, the ability to move from the point where everything I'm doing to entertain people is free, and I say I don't want to do it for free. I need to put food on the table. There were times where I did event, because this is the truth. When you do event, and most times it's free like this one, you will finish the event, you have problems. And if you keep having problems, you will quit and go and look for one laborer job. But you must move from the point where you do event is for free. You are not having problems. Then you move from the point where you say, I will not do it for free, because you must move from problem to profit. Am I talking to someone in this place? So between problem and profit, there is what is called productivity and progress, where you begin to take your time to do things that people will begin to pay you for it. And that's where I want to take you to before I take you to my slide and run through a couple of things. This is it. You know how to entertain people, but please, when you start doing it for free, the reason why you're doing this entertainment business for free is because there are certain things you will achieve and it will help you. So when I was performing for free, I would print complimentary cards. When I was performing for free, I would stay till the end of the event. When I stay till the end of the event so that I can exchange numbers. When I was performing for free, I will rehearse my lines and make sure my materials are good. This is how I will start. I will make sure that my performance is good, so that when we finish, people can take my numbers. So we point where you are doing it for free. If you are underperforming for free, nobody takes notes. So you must put enough work to make sure that even if it's a free performance, I am trying to give my best, so that when they say this was the best moment, they will call my name. In places where people take notice of your best moment, put you in that tag. This guy do well. How much will I pay him? And somebody say, we don't even pay him. I can tell you that most times they will call you again. So I was doing that for free. I was going to places. I was begging for opportunities. I was doing that for free. I was getting people to, but I was always giving out my numbers. My elder brother would print complimentary cards for me. I would share complimentary cards like I share gala. And most times when I still get calls, come and perform for free, I was still doing it for free. But you get to a point where you notice that you being the one that is asking people, please let me do it, and people are now telling you, please come and do it. That is the part where you need to be sensitive and entertainer and know, let me move from free to free will. That free will point is that point where you begin to ask people, what do you have for me? Free will point is the point where you begin to ask people, I will come and sing. I will come, I don't even tell you now. I used to be my band leader, I was a singer. That's how the hustle did. So I was even singing before I started doing comedy. That free will point is where you want to tell people, say, yeah, what? That's why a lot of people are in this Port Harcourt, they are still doing for free, and they are hungry. They don't, you've seen the signals that people are beginning to call you. At once you notice that every month you have 3, 4, 5 people. That signals in this industry is giving you an indication. Move from free to free will. Tell people, what do you have? Ask the question. Pop the questions. When they tell you what they have, commit them. Let them know. Sometimes they will tell you, see, when you come and go, do you well? It's still that free month level. You still need to say, okay, you go there. Like me, I go there. They give me, my first paid job was 3,000 naira years ago. And they gave me the 3,000 naira. I remember how we negotiated the job. But okay, even when I was doing free will self, oh God, I suffer for this Port Harcourt too. That's why you need to put me in the box where you put wiki. I suffer well. some of you will not understand. I suffer well for this Port Harcourt. Yes. Today, I can beat my chest and say, some of the things you see in the entertainment industry has my signature in it. Like, you can feel. One guy said, most of these your comedians, when they design their flyers, it be like saying your show design. That's how influential it is. The way people do their ticket box today is like the way I do. All these road stand you see, I follow for people where first they put road board, print one thing, put them for one corner, no tie banner again. So you can imagine the years and everything. Dan the rumor will say, now you be the first comedian will do billboard for this Port Harcourt, but you no go know. At that level. So even the one we do, after that my own, I glow, I do for him. So you had to get me to that point. But these things didn't just happen. They happened because I stayed in it. Because I will tell you 3 powers you must have if you want to really make money in this business. I will get to that point. But when you move from that free and then you start asking for free will, when you stay at a point from free will, please, you will find out that at that free will level, the calls are still coming. Despite say, you tell people, waiting you get from me, they say, okay, we'll give you this. The calls are still coming in. If the calls are not coming in, you have to still stay on that level. And what will bring the calls to come in is each time you go out, you have good performance, you leave your contact with people. You take a part of that performance, put it on social media for people to see. You must pay attention to branding and marketing. Am I talking to someone in this place? It's very, very important for you. And when the calls are still coming in, please move from free will to a fee. Tell yourself, this is what they will pay me if I am rendering this service. So when I was moving from free will to a fee, I said, before I go anywhere, they will give me 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira then, I know go say as small money, it was a big money. Yes, it was not Tinubu's mandate then, so you will know that it was not too bad. But when I asked for the 5,000, I didn't get it. My first pay job was 3,000. But they called me, I negotiated. Because I said 5,000, I mentioned 10. They said, no. I said, okay, how much you now go? They said 1,000 naira. I said, no. I said, no, you're not good now. When I had something, they say 1,000. Later they say 7. I said, they call. They call back. I said 2,000. The guy said, I said, yeah, I'm going to make them 5. He said, no, 2 last. I said, I can't do. Have that dignity in you. Some of you take everything. If you take everything they throw at you, you go down. That's what's happening to my colleagues. I have a colleague till today. He still they charge 50,000 naira, and some of us have moved to 1 million naira. You just think that some of you are more concerned about your next food instead of your next generation. Now, the next thing you go chop. So when the price just comes, you just want to take it. We're talking entertainment, and I will show you why people will always need you. But follow me, and we settle for 3,000. Let me tell you this. Air Force Officers Mess was that event. It was a wedding. I rehearsed for the wedding. I can still remember waiting and where go the wedding. I was so ready for it. I asked them, give me the high table list, rehearse the names. That was not even my first wedding because I've been doing weddings for free. When they finish, they will give me MC food and drink. And I would thank God and leave. I've been doing weddings, they will give me 200 naira. I was not calling it paid, 500 naira. But this one that they say 3,000 naira, oh, damn it. Damn it. I say, then they give me round of applause with 200 naira and Coke. This my love for Coke, no be today start. So for round of applause and Coke and 200 naira, 500 naira, 3,000 naira, I went for that wedding. It was more than a standing ovation. Because I know that over 10, 20 persons collected my numbers and I got another gig from there. And I collected 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. I became too busy with wedding at one point. Till 3, 4, 5 years ago, and then they like to MC wedding. It's just forming. Because the way Tinubu did now, I will go back to it. No, I didn't like to. I started, which hall? No. If not be a trauma arena or this thing. Community also will say, okay, my sister, at our church, we are Living Faith Church. I say, no, I'm living, I have faith, but I don't MC wedding. But at one point, I became that busy. Find out, how did it happen? I moved from doing it for free, and I had a lot of people know that this guy can do this thing. I say, what do you have from me? From what did you have from me? I say, this is what I take for it. So from free, you just go. Then give you, they don't give you. Free will is you make them know they will give you something. They will tell you they will put something in the envelope for you. You don't care, but let there be something in the envelope. And then for a fee, you agree a fee. But now, even when you start agreeing a fee, you must scale with that fee. Because I was a 3,000 naira person, I became a 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 150, 250, 300, 500. Sometimes I came down to 250, 300, moved to 1 million, 1.5. Tinubu is bringing me down. Fighting, Tinubu is bringing me down. Bringing me down, but I refuse to leave. But if I can start from a place where it was free and 3,000 naira, and I can move to 1.5 doing the same job, don't you think I've made progress? So I think I have the right to speak to you that that's the same way you can start singing, and you are singing for free, and you're asking people, what do you have? And you begin to tell people, this is what I take for singing. I know Priyo did it for years, so I can tell you the last time Priyo was called, the people were begging me, if you beg your friend Priyo, say, what happened? They say, it's 5 million naira go collect. I said, how much when I get? They mentioned an amount. I said, no, ever take that amount. Instead, I will call him, me no take him. The guy was laughing. But that amount, that particular amount, you need to understand this thing. Because if there is a business part of entertainment is called showbiz. You know, when I stand, I'm showing you what I can do, Abi. All of that is a show. The business part is that thing I was showing you. There's a price tag on it. So you need to learn how to put value on it, put a price on it. Tell people to compare event. Nia is married to my friend, Obi, and let me just put it, based on this teaching, I just call her my friend, so that it will match. It will match. So somebody called me and said, we are discussing in a meeting. They say they want you and Obi to, they like your synergy. They've met you here and here. They want you to, and then I called the price. But they said, Jesus. I said, that's the price. That's the price. If we do it apart, what happened? Because I know Nia's wife when she started doing 50, 100, 500, 1 million plus, and the progress is like that. Why that possibility is this? Because you are proving to people that you are capable, that you are good. People don't hire you, and when they hire you to render service, you are either going late, even if you go too early, your performance is weak. All through they are correcting you. No, it's not this name, it's this name. Oh, no, this one first, because time for cutting of cake, you go do toast. No, we're supposed to cut cake. Okay, sorry, sit down. That's what I see a lot of people do. You are not in the job. So if you are not qualified for promotion until you are overqualified for your present position. So approach the job giving your best. It is your best. See, if people will pay you well, you must learn to do well. And if you are doing well, people are not paying you. They are playing you well. Then they play you well. So you must pay attention to that. Because it's also the mindset, the consciousness that some of you are acting as if you don't pay me, you don't finish. Many years ago, they brought a wedding to my parlor and they were negotiating with me. And while they were trying to negotiate with me, the guy said, is it 150? You were begging me for, no, take 100. Now, wedding, I told you, the 2 days. I said, no, I'll do 500. The guy, he said, no, now, we don't meet this person. This person even tell us 50K for the 2 days. Would they take the price and 30K? Okay, 100K for 2 days. We take, I mean, take 30K. In say 50K, we're not going to answer them. Bless you, we're not going to do. They were negotiating with me. The guy was calling them on phone. I said, pick now. I said, I'm going to do that 50K now, I beg. And I was rejecting 300K for the same job he was begging. When I do that 50K now. I encouraged them to give him the 50K. They gave him the 50K. But as I speak to you, till today, he charges 50K per wedding. That small-mindedness is the reason why most of you will see entertainment as not having money. I met 2 comedians. They were quarreling along the road, and I was trying to approach the child. You know, they call me, I perform. Nobody, first time I said, them pay you for the event. No, they don't pay me, but now a man who can't show him love. I said, keep your love. What you should love is the love of money at this level. You don't become the fight, say they don't call you to perform. And in that particular same child education was how much you go take now performance. No, I don't get time, but just show face come out. So if you want to make money, the business of entertainment is huge. Every week in this town, people spend over 10 billion naira for entertainment. People are paying decorators, people are paying MCs, cameramen, video men, people are paying all sorts of money. Fashion design, stage and light, musicians, DJs. ask yourself which amount from this portion is getting to you. Nothing. And sadly, most of you are part of the people that they hire to do some of these things somewhere. So if they hired, I joke with a couple of my friends. My friend So Plus who got angry for one day. So we went to one MTN event. And when I came into the event, So Plus, I didn't see me mind spoiled. Because the people were pretending as if they don't have money. So you now approach the guy and say, for KO to MC this thing, and you people say you don't have money, you are lying. And I started talking to them. The full band, of course, they paid somebody who bought him to come and join and sing. And maybe they paid them 500. I made the MC then, they paid me 500. So when the band members, all of them noticed that I was the MC, as I entered the Edge Hotel, their mind spoiled. Say, no. For these people to bring KO, they have money. Why that mindset? They know I don't joke with it. They know that there was no way you can bring KO here, and then you will say, KO will just come. You can't charge phone. That's what some of you are doing. We have light. There is charging port. They will charging port. Charging port will be there. Are you sure I will charge my phone? They say, yeah, you will charge phone. Okay, I will just come. I will sing for 15 minutes till my battery full. That's what people are doing. There's money in this town. Tell your neighbor there is money in this town. Fix yourself somewhere. Some of you don't know. My younger brother taught somebody how to be a DJ many years ago. Today, that person don't use that DJ work. Begin to exploit somewhere. Do wedding recently. That one I even won. I have boys who work, you see some of the boys who work with me, Akpan Okun, GSN, Amani, and everything. Akpan is having his show. As of 2 weeks ago, we've sold table tickets worth over 30 million naira. We still get some within my booth. If I come out here, we will still go sell more. How many jobs will you do that you will sell tickets and people are paying you 1 million, 2 million? We redefined. My first show was regular, free, VIP 500. I now did 2,000, 1,000 regular, a seat on the table 10,000 gradually. That's why I say scalability. My first hall was Royal Castle Hotel, 96 Jumbo. One small hall like that was where I used for my first show. My last show was EUI Event Center. EUI Event Center, the hall I used first was 10,000 to rent the hall. EUI Event Center was 10 million naira plus that I paid. What has changed over time is because I'm there, I'm growing. I keep doing it. I told you 3 powers you must have in this industry. Let me tell you, please, so that I can go to what is my slide. Number 1, you must have that creative power. The ability to think of ideas. The ability to think, like for me, think new jokes. Think which joke you go talk first. Think the event you want to do. You need creative power. The ability to think of things that others are not thinking about. Ask yourself, see how this person they do your own. See how I need to do my own. Creativity is part of it. You need to be creative as an entertainer. People need to see you. You are not always copying. Instead, people are copying you. So whether you are a decorator, fashion person, musicians, poet, comedian, even if you do light, sound, and everything, you must have that creative power. The next power you must learn to have in this industry is called staying power. Because it is so tough, the challenge, the hunger. Anytime you take a break as an entertainer, you will never have a breakthrough. Where will you now? I don't say the thing time. I say my rest more. Last year I cannot sing. This year I don't come. You are not coming to start where you stop. You are coming to start. That's why I've always been here. 20 years plus. Ask people who know me in 2000 and something, or the early 2000s or almost late 90s that I started. Have always been here. Come tomorrow, come. I've always been here. The thing that I've maintained is I've maintained my steez. That those days that we are begging you, let me perform now. The difference is I beg when you go perform. Those days will come, we are shouting. These days now I can put hand in my pocket and small joke and people are laughing. Those days it was 10,000, 50,000, and now they are giving you less time even, and they are giving you more money. The difference in over time is staying power. When we come and you say you are a decorator, let's see you the next month, you are still decorating. Let's see you the next year, you are still decorating. Let's see you, and as you are doing that staying power, I'm telling you now, because of your creative power, you are doing more, you are improving, you are doing more, you are improving, you are acquiring more knowledge, you are getting better. Because if you are not getting better, you will get battered in this business. You will see some other person will take your client, you will cut in there. So you are doing it. You must have that staying power. You don't need to. We will see you this way. You say you are a fashion designer. Okay, we'll give you cloth you sew. The next time we come, you say you are doing chops. And they say again, no. We say, oh, you don't know. We won't give you cloth. Okay, we don't give somebody chops. Next year now, we will just give you this one way you say they do now. Yeah, they can't come next year to give you chops. No. Now, what we do now is that we arrange chair. I say, you don't talk now. We don't give somebody chair to arrange now. We don't give somebody chair to arrange. Okay, next one, remind us next year. We'll give you chair to arrange. Okay, how much do you say you are charging for arrangement of chair? No, now usher, now they do. Even when we say we want to give you the usher, I say, no, what I do now, I do red carpet. I don't call that one staying power. It's roaming power. So because I heard somebody said, who is suffering from this syndrome, was saying, we've been here. I said, we've not been here. You just enter. This one will start now. Now you enter this one. You start now. Because, yes, you can diversify, but when you are diversifying, your root is your root. I do comedy. I run advert and publicity. I do corporate events. In fact, I have a full workforce. If only me can win election. In threes, I have staffs, and then I have boys who are doing the same thing I'm doing. Some people will take you in the wrong cartel for this industry. I have boys, like 20-something comedians are with me. If I stand, they will stand. If I say nobody should go there, they will not go there. If they want to go there, they will say, Abema, go, because if I say go. Then I have a volunteer team I call Mayor's Tribe, 100 and something. They deal with me and everything. What has happened over time because of the staying power? I'm always here. So you can't. You come, you move, you shift, you this. Stay there. In this business, choose what fits you. Decode your design. When you decode your design, develop that design. My design is I can talk. Some other person, the design feel be the person feel work with in hand. Some other person is designed to sing. So decode that design and then develop that design. Because I discovered that I can talk, I develop it. I started creating humors from it, create materials from it. I teach a lot. I am the entertainer that is invited the most to speak in conferences. Have you seen any more parts? You don't see me as speaker. You don't see me before. But at some point I was not speaking. I was just doing comedy. And I got to a point I could speak and act comedy. And when I got to that point, it's because I have to hire my staff. I know nothing about these slides. Now today they didn't even send me self. Now as I come here, I go soon go speak. Now I just see them for my phone. Now as they put on my phone, now I can't say they don't spell entertainer well. I know doing anything now. Somebody walk. Because I can do that now because I have people. I say I want to speak on this, and then I will just lay foundation on the topics and create my slide and say take it and go and do this and that. So you must take your time staying. The third power you need in this industry is called selling power. You must know how to sell yourself. You must know how to sell your crowd. You must know how to make people pay you. Am I talking to someone in this place? You can be singing, you know how to sing. At that point where you know how to ask for that money, get people to pay you, you need that power, your ability to sell what you have, sell your talent. There's a young man he can draw. He's painting, people are buying his painting for 500, 300. And there's another man that is painting somewhere. That particular painting, fine past this, my guy, when they buy 300, 500. His house is in Igbo Island. He's among the richest painters in this country now. And there's somebody that can draw more than him, possibly. Yes. And that particular person, nobody's even buying his own painting for 2,000 naira. You don't paint full in house. Sometimes when his family members are bored, they will just use one of the paint and just write something on top. And say, well, who writes something? Say, space, no day. When I was called, I say, okay, I would draw another one, put there. It's just like that. But you can't sell. And what helps you to sell is get yourself to the point of admiration. Let people admire what you're doing because you are doing it well. And because they admire what you're doing and they need what you're doing, you should put a price tag on it and communicate it without hurting their feelings. I've seen a lot of churches call me, and then now I don't stretch churches then. But when I started charging churches those days, they will call me, and then I would tell them, I'll come for the first one for free. I'll come for the second one for 150,000, the third one for 250. But you must assure me that when I come for this first one, that I'm coming for free. The second and the third will come. That was selling power for me. I was going to churches to perform for free. I said, if I perform for free in this event, for free will in this event, you'll be able to get me this worth of job. And most pastors were keeping to it. Yeah, one of my church members is getting married. I will talk to them. As a pastor, talk to them first. We'll laugh over it. I say, okay, I've spoken with him. The wedding is this. How much we'll negotiate for that wedding. And they will give me advance, and I will go to that place. It's selling power. Some of you need to. You sit on Facebook, you are writing things that you are not supposed to write. If I search on Facebook, I cannot see your product. I go on Instagram, I hate the boys, now their own worst pass. You are posting nude women, and you will carry one girl that is wearing one half-naked cloth and put black bucket. I like black bucket. People will come under and be laughing. Ooh, ooh. When you post your business, if that same people are not coming, just know that you have the wrong. You are not intentional. I'm so intentional that the friends that I was following on Facebook, I will follow 70 pastors, 70 CEOs. I'll say for 7 days, I will add 10 of them, send them friend requests. If my requests hang for some time, he never did, I will unfollow, send them again so that it will come up. You have to be intentional. You must have selling power. You must know how to sell. How do you sell? You generate interest. Make people want what you need. Churches used to tell me that they don't like comedy. So I did a comedy show, Laugh, O Ye Servant of God. Only pastors, small place. Invited pastors on their wife. I say it's free food. And some pastors came. And I performed very well. Some of my colleagues performed and everything. I gave them my number. In the next 3 to 6 months, pastors were inviting me to their church to perform. That was because I knew how to sell. To sell, I had to bring them, let them see, generate the interest, know that comedy can be clean, comedy can be classy, and they gave me the opportunity. In sales, there's what we call product approach. That you make clothes, that you do decoration. You can go to somebody who knows that does event regularly and say, I will decorate for you just to cover my cost for free or for what, this is the amount that will cover my cost. I charge 800,000. But with 300, 200, I can cover my cost. And you go there and do it very well. By that approach alone, in most cases, you will see that the same person will give you a job. How many of you are listening to me? Selling power. You can sing, you cannot sell yourself. Because you are singing in your backyard. You're not singing the right event. When you finish singing, you never close, you don't rush, go out. Stay to the end and snap during red carpet with people. Stay to the end and notice who have money. Go and greet them. Hey, you are the young man that sang. Yes, sir. Don't go to places. Some of you can say, when you say you're the young man, yes, sir. No, you're the young man, yes, sir. Yes, my name is this, this is my number. I can also sing in your event like this and this and this and that and that and that. I have a sentence that, not long story, that can make them share your number, take their contact and everything. Somebody say selling power. You must learn to sell. That will help you. There is money in this. Let me tell you some of the few ways. Push it through Isaac. Push it through some of the few ways you can make money. Who's on the slide, please? Okay. Can you see this slide from there? Huh. As you check your phone and take this other one. It's bolder. Just put it. So let me tell you some of the few ways that you can use in doing this. Generally, my key points. So as in that, there are several ways you can make money through performances, merchandise, online content, social media streaming. You can create workshops. I'm talking to you about the business side too of entertainment, and I want you to pay attention to it because some of you are entertainers, some of you are. You work backstage, you are part of the technical, you have technical knowledge like the people who do stage sound. Some of you have different fields. I want you to take this through. There are many ways you can make money. The business part of this is when people begin to pay you, at that point you're doing business. Everything you do when you're not paying is busyness. You're just busy. Have you heard this word before? Busy for nothing. That is business. When you are paid is business. Some days at this level. Last week, I performed in 8 places. So I was running around from places to places. At the point I was sharing the videos to one of my friends. I said, today, I want to do charity for people. I just do that. So that last week I was doing business. So everywhere I go, I say, if I come to your place, if you don't come in 15 minutes, I don't go. As in just see me, they don't come, I don't perform, go. That was business. But what is business is that actual point where for the services, for your performances, you are being paid. There's a particular money that comes to you. And that's very important. So I'm going to run through them in a very quick order and listing. All of this might not help you, but there's 1, 2, or 3 of these ideas that can be very, very helpful that will help you do this. Now, the first thing about making money, the first way you can make money from entertainment is through performances. Performances. If you are a musician, you are a comedian, you are a dancer, poet, through performances. And from my script here, please, if that one is ready, put it up for me, so that they can see it from here. At this point, you showcase your talent at concert, event, festivals, club, private party, depending on your niche. You can be a musician, a comedian, a dancer, magician, any type of performance. And what you do at this level is that you are presenting. You are showing people, entertaining people. At that level of entertainment, you must put a price tag on it. You must have people to pay for it. Yes, when you start, it's always free. You move to free will. But know this, you will not be able to feed until you get to that fee level. What will help you feed is when, ladies and gentlemen, please, for my pastor, Pastor Larry Olusheye. Daddy, you're welcome. So just help me do this quick. Post on Facebook. Make in Nigeria the next speaker is Pastor Larry. Do that as fast as possible. Daddy, you're welcome. I don't always want to be in this situation. I don't ever want to be where I'm speaking. My pastor is there. I've escaped it more than 20 times. So I will just rush. So that today will also be another escape route. It's now that I'm remembering that I saw the program. Pastor's name was there. And yeah, you didn't do well. So I will rush, and in 5-10 minutes I'll be done. I will now give them the slides. They will give you the slides. So take home so that wait till I won't talk now. I just want my pastor to be laughing when I do stand-up comedy. Pastor Larry has a way of inspiring me. If I just see Pastor Larry somewhere, I don't know. Because when my pastor teaches, he knows how to make us laugh during service. So some people don't know when they come to church, they are writing points. Pastor is giving you step, prayer, fasting. I don't do those things with them. I'm just waiting. As pastor just drop their lines, they laugh. I don't write. So I use it to form. Okay, I think this is clearer now, Abby. Yes, it's better now. Also, these are ways. So, sorry. I'm telling you performances. So, when you showcase your talent at concert events, you can make money from it. Yes. And I'm telling you, when you start entertainment, like you start from free, and then what's the next level? And then the third level, fee. It is always like that. So the problem we have, especially in Port Harcourt, I've seen that most people don't know when they should move from free to free will. Some stay in that free will level, and they are still asking people, how much do you have for me? What will you give me? When you leave your career at that level for too long, you will never make money. Nobody will be asking person, what do you have for me? And they will pay you well. In fact, when the economy is shrinking, it affects us the most. Because there are end-of-year parties that we do for 1 million. When it is tough now, I'm so sure that they will give their company person to MC it. They will give their company. And if they want to call you now, there's no money. Will you take 500? Yeah. But you must understand that for free, so that people will know you. At that free level, exchange phone numbers, give good performances, gain admiration, generate interest, move to free will. But don't stay there for too long. If you want to feed, have a fee. That's very important at this. So the next way to make money, I make money through this sometimes. We do this when we do events. Some of you have attended my gospel carnival. The next way, if you want to make in the business of entertainment, merchandise sales, create and sell merchandise related to your brand or performance. This can include T-shirt, CDs, DVDs, or other products. You can do a couple of branded. I sell my hoodies for like 25K. Normally those hoodies, I spend like 13,000 I spend. So I just put 25K. And some people buy. People buy most times, not because they're just buying it out of love. So when you've built that fan base, you must make your fan base. That's why we're doing shows, because I know people like me, they want to come for my shows. The same way your bags with your branded name and this. Some of you go to event, you are wearing Nike, you are wearing Louis waiting. You are wearing Tommy waiting finger. You make mistake. When you begin to do your branded this thing, and it's very fine, you get to a point where you sell, I sell my T-shirts for 5,000 naira, and I'm going to even take it to 10,000 naira. People buy those T-shirts. Another way you can make money in this business, leverage the power of internet to reach a wider audience and monetize your talent. My friends do this a lot. I do this a lot. Nowadays, listen to me. Some of you don't know, but it's important I mention this. You see how comedy is embraced online. I don't know if you've seen it. That's the beauty of it now. It has moved from comedy to conversations. Podcasts are making a lot of money. So if you just get camera and you and two other persons, you are musicians, and you are bringing other musicians, you are talking about different aspects of music. If you have that staying power, don't forget I tell you about 3 powers. Creative power, staying power, and selling power. Over time, you will find out that your podcast will begin to get engagement. Monetization is very, very important. Last month, I checked how much I made on YouTube. I gave my staff, I said, all of you go and share, and they were very happy. And then I said something. We made this amount on YouTube because we've been consistent. So you must try as much as possible to do this. You can share your performances, behind-the-scene content, tutorials, and all type of engaging materials. Stop saying there's no money in entertainment. As this government are frowning with us the more, it is entertainment that will save you. Content creation is the reason why the government is even looking at. If not for content creators, how many young people would have made the kind of money they are making now? And how are they doing it? Online content. Go online. Stop going online because you want to look for women. You are posting girls with pant and bra, and you cannot post your business. That's what a lot of people, you cannot ask yourself, on this social media space, how can I make money from it? If you know how to do decoration, and then you are teaching people every Wednesday how to decorate, you know how much you need. I have a class, Olumati has taught there. On Wednesday, I teach people sales and marketing every Wednesday. And people pay 10,000 naira monthly for that class. That's online. They are not coming to my house or my office. So there is something powerful that you've not maximizing. And we are all complaining. Yes. Next, please, we move. Social media and streaming platform. Engage your fans through platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah. You can earn money through brand partnership, sponsored posts, leverage features like YouTube monetization, teaching and workshop. I've touched this. You can teach aspiring artists and enthusiasts who are interested in learning your craft. People pay, they pay for it. When I started Q Baba Youth Convention, asked them, it was for free. He attended the pay section last year. It was for 25K, but people paid 25K to come and learn. At first, when you start anything, you will not get response. The first time I asked people to pay for what I was doing for, they no reach 2. Now 1 person pay. I can't beg others, join this 1 person, share money. So that you don't go there empty. But when you do things like that, have content that you can use for marketing. I told you about product approach, Abi. Sometimes you give people what you can do. I've been wearing Romi's cutoff for years. In fact, I'm like one of the first person in sew cloth for. The first cutting sew for me, this leg, tight past this leg. He go lose them again, I manage him. He has sewn cloth for me years ago. I went for a wedding. I carry hand. Thank God I wear suit. The shirt, tear from me. But of today, that same person, he sews cloth for 150,000 naira. He's my church boy. He sews cloth. He's downstairs. When I say my church boy, they'll say I like promoting my church people. But it's my church boy, House on the Rock, and I'm proud of it. And it is important you know that you can start teaching people. Now he's teaching others. So teach people. You can make money. You can sing, and then you start a small music team, and people are learning. You can do comedy, host comedy conference, and people are paying for it away. One of the ways, yes, influencing and endorsement. You can make money from influencing and endorsement. Find a way to advertise and hype product and services of companies and people around your environment. Use your craft and event to push them. I do clean and classy joke. I have brands that know. I have a particular brand. There's a beer company. When they approach me, I say, I need a drink this, and they say, even if you need a drink, we just want to advertise for your show. I don't have much engagement on Facebook, but I charge as much as 500 to 1 million naira to do influencing for people. Well, most of you can gather that influence if you are posting something relevant on Facebook over time, and your engagement and your interactions and numbers are growing. You can start telling people and say, give me 20,000, I'll post for you. Imagine if 5 people give you 20,000 naira weekly. For 4 weeks, is that not 400,000? So what are you saying? Why are you tinny-booing everywhere when you cannot make a way for yourself? Why are we 2 more and we move? 2 more this. Okay, I've said about this corporate event and corporate sponsorship. Companies often hire entertainers to enhance their event and create memorable experience for their clients or employees. You can negotiate fees or sponsorship with these companies looking for entertainment services. Very well. I have companies, now me carry my hand approach them. So you must have that selling power. There is a lot of money. Over 1 trillion naira goes into entertainment yearly. Somebody even said it's over 10 trillion naira. At the end of the year or at the end of the month, at the end, in Port Harcourt alone, over 2 billion naira every week is shared among people in the creative industry. So you ask yourself, at one point, has people paid you for anything? Yes, if you are just starting, it's going to be free, and you are at a free will level, but do so well so that you can move to that fee level. When you get to that fee level, please ask for your pay, because if people are not paying you, they are playing you. God bless you.
The mayor of Pitaqua. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because of time, we won't be able to take a lot of questions, but you can follow him on all social media platforms. And just wait. After, he said, don't be in a hurry to go, so that you can interface with destiny helpers, as you people call it these days, before you leave. Our final speaker is in the house, but I will be bringing up Pastor Uche Onoche to formally bring him up. His shoes I'm not worthy to untie this afternoon, and you bear with me. But before I say anything, I'd like to thank him for he personally sponsored my booth for this exhibition. Pastor Larry, thank you very much for what you do for us, for all the encouragement. He's not just a pastor, we call him our guy. So permit me, before I hand over to Pastor Uche, to invite you to House on the Rock this evening. You might just be lucky next year to have a booth. Thank you very much, Pastor Larry, for all you do. Pastor Uche, thank you very much. Just come up.
Hello, everyone. Wow, this light is too much for my pastor. Yeah, he's not using slides, so it's okay. It's fine. Please, are you guys having fun? Yeah. So just put your hands together and just let's celebrate K.O. Baba. Thank you. There's so much wisdom was coming out of you. Because everybody will say, look, I'm funny. Everybody, I can do this, I can do that. You know, I think we were discussing this two days ago, and I was telling someone that the people that organize talent make more money than the people that have the talent. You know, so now if you're like K.O. Baba, you have the talent, you can organize, so it means that he's making double money. He's making twice. We will just go into the next phase of this. I'm privileged to bring up my pastor, but before I do it, I want to tell you, some of us, we just have this notion about pastors. We just think it's just about spiritual alone. My pastor is a business person. My pastor is well-read. I will read this so that you know who is speaking to you. So when someone is a man of the clock, doesn't mean that he doesn't do other things. So just pay attention. I want to just let you know we are proud of him and we want to let you know who he is. Reverend Lanre Olusheye is an architect, a leader, a motivator, and conference speaker. He is the regional director of the House on the Rock daughter churches in the South region of Nigeria and serves as a lead clergy of House on the Rock Heritage House in Port Harcourt, a daughter church of House on the Rock, which is headquartered in Lagos. Pastor Lanre holds an executive MBA from the Metropolitan Business School, United Kingdom, and he's an alumnus of University of Cape Town, Graduate School of Business, the Dale Carnegie Institute, and the London School of Economics and Political Science. He's also a certified international project manager and a fellow of the American Academy of Project Managers. Please, can we just rise this afternoon to our faith, celebrate greatness? And this is a great man coming to speak to you. Let's just appreciate him. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, you may please be seated, please. When they say all these high-sounding things, it feels a little strange. But it's a real honor to be here. It's a real privilege to be here. Thank you very much, Pastor Uche. If consistency had a name, that name would be Uche Onoche. We celebrate your consistency, 14 years and counting. Please, you can do better than that. It takes a lot to be committed to a cause. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And to all the speakers and all the very gifted people that has graced this platform during the course of the last few days, I salute all of you. Thank you for pouring into our city and encouraging all of us. Thank you. I have no intention to take too much of your time. And our friend from the States, thank you very much. God bless you. One of the things I really love about the United States is they've ingrained processes as part of culture. So you can basically walk into any government office and everything is plain, everything is open. A few months ago, I was in Houston and, I was just driving by on the 1093. I was just driving by and I saw this land and they say for sale. So I decided to go. I'm like, which county is this? They say Harris County. And I walked into Harris County. I said, who's in charge of lands? And they were looking at me funny. Eventually, they led me to a particular guy. And I was talking to the guy. I introduced myself. My name is so and so and so and so. I saw for sale on that land, and I'm interested in buying the land. He said, are you interested in buying the land? I said, I'm interested in buying. Took me to another office. Then they put on the system. I see all the free lands. I see the ones that is government owned, the ones that people have owned, and this and that. And it will not happen in my country. The number of layers that you have to. Long story short, in less than an hour, I'm there sitting down and negotiating for 60 acres of land that I just stumbled into and almost done in terms of processing. So I celebrate your country for making things easy. The level of transparency is one that I think every country in the world can emulate. And that, you see, you know why why I find it impressive? I didn't have to know nobody. I didn't have to know anybody. I didn't have to know the mayor. I didn't have to know I didn't have to know anybody. I just went in there, made the inquiries, and everything was just there. Do you know what it would take to get land in Port Harcourt? So we celebrate your country for all of that. Thank you. Now, when you invite a pastor to come and speak at an event like this, you must know what you're letting yourself in for. So there's no way we're going to say this, and I'm not going to make references to the Bible. So if the Bible offends you, I apologize in advance. It's just how it is. All right? I know that this is for everybody, but I am a man of the cloth. So I'm going to make a few references to the Bible just so that we can have some kind of background. Again, Pastor Uche, thank you very much for the honor and the privilege. So this afternoon, very briefly, I'm supposed to be talking about the intersection of faith and fortune. And I think when he gave me the subject, I was deeply intrigued. I was deeply intrigued because I live in an environment where people are naturally spiritist, not necessarily spiritual. You see, I'm an African, and within the context of the African culture, is a lot of superstition. And that superstition makes us spiritist in nature. It makes us prone to spiritual things. Now, I am not denying the existence of the spiritual. Please don't get me wrong. I know that the spiritual controls the physical. All right? But you see, there is a lot of superstition in our environment. How many of you have heard stories of when you are going somewhere and you hit your left leg? You should go back home because it's a bad omen. How many of you know that thing holds no water? It only has an effect because you believe it. And you believe it because you've heard it over and over and over and over and over again. I wish I had the time. I would have told you how we must deconstruct a lot of things that are not factual, but we have made them strongholds in our minds just because we've had them over and over and over and over again. One of the things I'm fighting right now is the stronghold in the minds of men, that men are not multitasking and cannot do things, several things at the same time. I believe it's an absolute lie. I believe it's a lie sold to men to make them underperform. And because we've heard it over and over and over again, we have believed it to be true. And when we have an opportunity to do a plethora of things at the same time, we shy away from them because somebody told you over time that you can only do one thing at a time. And so men have been sold a lie. You see, many of these kind of things is the reason why we underperform. All right? So let me go back to my subject, because if I get on this men thing, there's something between me and men these days. Like, but you know, I was in the States, I was talking to a group of people, and people were introducing themselves. And a young lady got up and introduced herself, called herself, and said, "I'm a feminist." I smiled. When they got to my turn, I introduced myself and said, "I am a masculinist." And I have absolutely no apologies. That is the truth. I feel that men... Okay, let me leave you alone. You know, I'm trying to stay on my assignment. But men, we have to get it right. All right? We have to get it right. We have to get it right. We have to pull ourselves up. Men are being underused and underutilized because of a lot of things that we have been told. I told our church, I gathered a few men together and I told them, how can you say a man cannot multitask? A man that has 4 girlfriends keeps the 4 of them in the same city, and 4 of them don't know each other, and 4 of them think they're the only one in his life. I don't understand. Okay. A man, husband, father, brother, friend, all at the same time, and is doing well with both. He's an entrepreneur and still working in paid employment, and he's still doing well on both, and you tell me he cannot really? If you're a man here, thump your chest and say, "I'm a man. I can do all things." I'm built like that. Built solid. I don't break. I don't know all these feminized men. Okay. The intersection of faith and fortune. How does faith affect making money? How does faith affect? The first thing I'm going to say to you is this. If you read the Bible, there's an interesting scripture that I like to always make my background when I address issues like this. And it is in 1 Corinthians and chapter 1 and verse 24. And the Bible is very clear. And that is the basis from which I speak to you. Interestingly, this is a business Christian exhibition, right? And conference. So just permit me. The Bible says, both to the Jew and the Greek, Jesus is the power and the wisdom of God. Understand this. But to everyone who names the name of the Lord, Jesus, the Christ, is both the power of God and the wisdom of God. I make both to say to you, everything that's going to happen in your life as a Christian is going to come through those two channels. Either through the power of God or the wisdom of God. What do I mean? If you need healing and your body is broken and battered and you're really sick and the Bible says, is any afflicted? Let him pray. And the prayer of faith will heal the sick. And we pray for the sick and that sick recovers. That is the power of God. Are you still with me? But you see, if that person that was sick and got healed does not exercise, does not eat right, does not sleep right, does not do other things correctly, he will fall sick again. That is a lack of the wisdom of God. So, the power of God will do the miraculous. The wisdom of God will give you the principles for maintaining the miracle. A lot of believers want to live in the realm of the miraculous. It doesn't happen. Read your Bible. There's nobody that Jesus healed twice. The guy that he opened his eyes, if that guy had made any mistake and his eye remained, he got it blind again, he would have remained blind for the rest of his life. Are you still here? Because there's the place for the miraculous power of God and there is the place for the wisdom of God. The wisdom of God talks about the principles that govern the earth, the principles that God has already laid down, the thing that you need to do. See, I tell people, there are two ways to get favor. There are two ways to get favor. You know, thou, Lord, shalt bless the righteous, and you encompass them round about with favor as with a shield. That is a good place. You can pray for favor. But do you know that you can also manufacture favor? Oh, come on, help me here. You can pray for favor, but you can also manufacture favor. You know, we like to confess as Christians, and we put favor in our name and say, my name is now Lanre Favor Olusheye, Favor Lanre Olusheye Lanre Favor. And we call forth favor, we receive favor, and we do all of that. But there's also another way to manufacture favor. Seest thou a man who is diligent in all his ways? He will stand before kings and not mean men. Favor. Are you still with me? So everything that God is going to do in your life, my brother, is going to be in those two channels. One is going to be the power of God. How many people are praying for a breakthrough here? No. There's nothing wrong with praying for a breakthrough. Just one big one. One big one. Just, Father God, I come to you in the name of Jesus. As I'm walking the streets of Port Harcourt, let a convoy be passing by and let them just stop. Let your favor surround me to such an intent, to the intent that the occupants of the convoy will come down. And lo and behold, it is the governor of the state. And he will look at me and say, I have been looking for you everywhere. Would you like to do this contract of 10 billion naira? Take. That is the kind of thing that Christians pray for. That's the kind of thing we are waiting for. Hear me. I'm not going to say it cannot happen. All right? But it rarely happens. Very rarely. Very rarely. Very rarely. So you cannot live your life always praying for a miracle. Miracles are the exceptions to the rule. The rules are the wisdom of God. The principles is laid down in his word. So everything that God is going to do for you, do you know that there are people who are praying for health and there are people who are nursing themselves to health? Eventually, both of them will get to where they are going. They will get healthy. But one is by the power of God, and the other is by the wisdom of God. Check it. Anything in this life at all, God is going to do it through those two means, either by the power of God or by the wisdom of God. Now, this is where I'm going. By the power of God, I have no control over that. I have no control when God is going to do a miracle. It is left to his sovereignty. It is left to when he wants to do it, how he wants to do it, however he wants to do it. I have no control over that. I can pray, I can fast, I can do all of that, but it's still left to him. The one I have control over is the wisdom of God, because his wisdom is already laid out in his word. So if I follow the precepts, I should still get there. Are you still here? If I follow all the concept that he has already laid out, I should still get to where I'm going. So let me pause here to say, whilst you are praying for the power of God to move on your behalf, can you please walk the wisdom of God? Whilst you are waiting for the day that you're going to hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Can you register the business? Can you get a job? Can you do something? Can you begin to make a move right now? Whilst you are waiting for the miraculous, can you begin to walk the wisdom of God? You know, Christians, we talk a big game, but we under-deliver many times. The intersection of faith and fortune. You guys called the pastor, so I'm going to go to another scripture. In Luke 16, there is this interesting story. Now so I want to help you. I want to help us, me too. And you know, is anybody here that has a call, who God has called to ministry? Anybody here? All right, thank you. Please. Okay. God bless you. I'm happy for you. Me too. He's called me to ministry. But please don't rely on ministry for money. I beg of you. It is a life of frustration. I can tell you tales and tales and tales of bitter pastors, bitter ministers. It is the reason why you pray with somebody, God prospers them, and they move on with their life, and you are angry. Say, after all, I prayed for him. I stood in the gap. I know how many times we fasted. My brother, my sister. You see, ministry, the way I see it, that is the power of God. Sustaining you, that is the wisdom of God. I have always had my money. Always, from day one, and I've done this for 20 years, I have always had Larry Olushaye's money. That has nothing to do with House on the Rocks money. Are you still here? Except, you know, some of my friends say things like, you know, God called me into full-time ministry. I will not argue with you. But really, really, what is full-time? How do you define full-time? If you ask me, I'm in full-time ministry. But personally, you do business, it's still full-time. Because every aspect of my life is the ministry. When I'm preaching, it's ministry. When I'm sitting in the boardroom, it's ministry. When I'm on site, it's ministry. Negotiating the deal is all ministry. So I'm in full-time. So depending on how you want to define full-time. Okay? So, let's talk about the wisdom of God. The intersection of faith and fortune. How does faith affect fortune? In Luke 16, there's an interesting story. Every time I read the story, I have a problem with the story. It's the story of the unjust servant or the unfaithful servant. The Bible tells us that this man comes and asks the servant, give an account of your stewardship, for I'm about to take your stewardship from you. And the guy said, I cannot dig. To beg, I am too proud to beg. What am I going to do? And then the guy begins to do something. Please listen to me. The guy begins to do something. He quickly calls all the people owing his master and said, you, Olumati, how much are you owing? The way I'm looking at you, And this River State Monday, you begin to chop. The way I'm looking at it, how much are you owing my master? Watch this. He says 100. He said, quickly, take your invoice, write 50. He goes to another person. He says, how much are you owing, sir? He said, how much are you owing? He says 80. He said, quickly, take your invoice, just arrange it, write 40. This is where it shocks me. The Bible tells us that the steward's master now commended the steward. How do you commend someone for jobbing you? And then he says this thing that is profound. He says that because the children of this world are wiser in their own generation than the children of light. But the first thing I want you to know is this. In every environment, these three categories are going to be there. Number one are going to be stewards. Number two are going to be diggers. Number three are going to be beggars. Everyone in this room falls into those three categories. Whether you like it or not, I hate to be the one to break the news to you. But the truth is that you're either a steward, a beggar, or a digger. Everybody that labors falls into those three categories. Either you are a steward, you are a beggar, or you are a digger. Who is a digger? A digger is someone who does exactly what they have been told to do. I work a 9-to-5 job. I apply, I get there at 9, I close at 5. I do exactly what I am supposed to do. I am conscientious. I wish I had the time. And you know, diggers think that they are faithful because they are there on time. They do what they're... You see, diggers are the ones that are quick to claim injustice. I've been on this job for 7 years. I have labored in this company for 7 years. I am always there at 7 a.m. when the doors open, and I am out at 5 p.m. when they close. How can they be promoting everybody? Pastor Uche, look at the injustice in the system. And they did not promote me, and I am the most faithful person in this place. Sir, digger, I'm coming. I will answer your question. And then there are the beggars. The beggars are the king of eye service because they're always looking at the hand of the giver. So when the work for Pastor Uche comes around, Oga, sir, I am very loyal. The boys are loyal, sir. Oga. But when Oga turns his back, they go do something else. Those are beggars. They are always looking for the next handout. Always looking for the next person to give them a leg up. Always looking for the next person to do something for them. Always, you know. So we know diggers. We know beggars. We know stewards. Hi. How does the Bible define stewards? I find it very interesting how the Bible defines stewards. The Bible says that it is required in stewards to be found faithful. Meanwhile, the digger thinks he's the faithful one. And he does not understand that the definition for faithfulness is different. So how does the Bible define faithfulness? Thank you very much for asking. Since you asked so nicely, I will answer you. The Bible tells us the story of 3 servants who got different talents. 2 and 5. Okay, 2 servants. You know, one got 2, one got 5, and one got 1. And the Bible says the one that got 5 brought back 5. The one that got 2 brought back 2. The one that got 1 kept the one in the ground and brought it back the way it was given. Remember, what did they say to the people who brought back interest? It says, thou good and faithful servant, come into the rest of your master. We judge faithfulness in the Bible by productivity. Faithfulness is not defined by, I am there at 9, I close at 5. Consistently, I am there. You are a digger. The real steward is the one that is found faithful. And what the Bible defines as being faithful is the guy who produces. I wish I had the time to tell you. They are not going to reward you for how long you have stayed in your position, sir. You see, justice for Larry, 10 years on the job, no promotion. is not going to move management. They will still promote that guy who's there in 6 months, who doubles the bottom line of the company. It is productivity that is the name of the game. Christians, please listen to me. Listen to me. You cannot complain about your boss. Your boss is not evil. It's just that you are not productive. Now I'm feeling like, hold on. Wait. I'm feeling it now. Someone says, they're always persecuting me on my job. Every time I go to pray in my office, they say that, why am I spending office time in prayer? It's because your prayer is not producing, sir. I'm telling you the truth. If you are the guy who enters a boardroom that has Muslims and Christians and Hindus and everybody, and they know that every time they want to start the meeting, you ask for 5 minutes, you go into the bathroom, and you do whatever it is that you do, kade, baradisa, avaradita, and then you come back, and they bring a problem, and you are the only one with a solution that nobody can explain. And they see a pattern of consecutive productivity. Hear me, my brother. The next time you come for that meeting, and you are not praying, they'll be the one to tell you, sir, get up, go and pray. The reason for your persecution is that your prayer is not producing. Your being a Christian is not producing. Productivity remains the name of the game. They will be the one to say, no, we will not start this meeting. K.O. Baba has not prayed. Please, K.O. Baba, enter the toilet, go and pray. Because we know that when you pray and you come back, whatever the problem is, you have downloaded solutions from the mind of God. Things that nobody... Have you ever seen people who go to the boardroom and they bring an idea nobody has thought of, and everybody's wondering, how on earth, how does your mind even work like this? It's because the person tapped into something that is not of this earth realm. I tell people your Holy Spirit is an advantage. It's your access to the mind of God. We are talking about faith and fortune. What is fortune? What is being a Christian if you cannot show walking? Do you get me what I'm saying? I'm talking about you think you are being persecuted, you think they don't like you because of your faith? It's because your faith is not producing. If they know that in that sales team, the only person who always exceeds the target of the whole team is you, and they know that because you take 2 days a week, you don't come to the office, you say it's private retreat, but when you come out from that retreat, you know exactly who to go to, who's going to bring the investment that the company needs. Trust me, the day you come and you want to work for 5 whole days without taking your 2 days, it is the head of the team that will call you. Cecilia, please, let us not have problem in this office. Let me and you not have a personal problem. Why have you not gone for your retreat? That is how your faith impacts your fortune. Are you still here? Because you understand that your Holy Spirit is your access to the supernatural, to the divine, to the mind of God, to download superlative solutions that men have not thought of before. And when you bring that to the table, you begin to walk like a God amongst them. What do you think Daniel was doing? He was not preferred because he was Daniel. You think he was preferred because his name was Daniel? Who told you? It was because whenever he opened his window, that's why he had the boldness. The king said nobody should pray. Daniel said nobody should pray. He opened his window. Watch this. He opened his window, and he started praying. His naysayers went to report to the king. Even that they caught Daniel praying, it pained the king. That child, this guy does always bring in solution. But I am the king, I can't go back on my word. So they have to put Daniel in the lion's den. Guess who was first to come and check whether Daniel died or whether he lived? The king. It's called value. If your prayer does not deliver value, sir, your faith is not impacting on your fortune. In fact, your faith is useless as far as your fortune is concerned. Are you still with me? My friends, it is important that we understand these basic principles. Ask your neighbor for me, are you producing? And are you producing at the level you ought to be producing? If you are a Christian here, prayer is an advantage. Retreat is an advantage. Fasting is an advantage. Don't let the world tell you otherwise. These are important principles to live your life by. Then let me ask you, your neighbor, just before I go on, are you a digger? Or are you a beggar? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Now, during the course of this whole week, a lot of people have spoken to you as entrepreneurs, right? A lot of people have spoken to you as entrepreneurs, so I don't want to beat that horse. But can I talk to you if you're working a job? If you're in paid employment, someone is paying, you're working for somebody. Can I talk to you? See, it is important. What is prayer? Prayer is not you trying to get God to do stuff. I'm talking about how your faith impacts your fortune. Prayer is not you trying to get God to do stuff. Prayer is actually getting you to be in the position to receive what God has already done. Because God is not, after he rested on the seventh day, he's not working again. Everything that needs to be done has been done. When Christ hung on the cross, his last words, it is finished. That means everything that needs to be done has been done, finito, it's done. It is you. What prayer does is maneuver you in position for what God has already done. Are you still here? Why is that important? One of the things that prayer does is prayer brings clarity. A lot of believers don't know what to do. You know, and some of the things, and Pastor Uche, I've said this severally in church, many of the things that I have a lot of thoughts in my head. I'm trying to pick and choose. All right? I'm trying to pick and choose. Why would the unjust, let me go back to my text, that the Lord, okay, first and foremost, Pastor Uche, I don't know whether you've made this mistake before. I used to think it was Jesus that commended the guy and said that the children of this world, I used to think it was Jesus. Sorry, if I ever told you that, I didn't get it. It wasn't Jesus that said it. It was the master of the guy that said it. So don't say Jesus said that it was good to cheat people. That's not what Jesus, it was the guy's Lord who said, the children of this world are wiser in their generation. So why is that important? He was simply saying, the children of this world have learned how to walk the systems of this world. Help me turn to your neighbor and tell the person, walk the system. See, there is already a Babylonian system in place. Oh, Pastor Larry, preach this thing. See, it is not you that will change it. You know, people come and say, my case is different. Guy, your case is different in having the knowledge to walk the system. Not necessarily change how it works. It is like sowing and reaping. It's already been laid. How do I know? When they went into Israel to bring slaves into Babylon, you know that they didn't choose everybody. Go and read Daniel. They chose specific people. They chose people that are fine and good looking. That's why if you are fine and good looking, you already have an advantage in this world. I'm telling you the truth. Oh yes, go to Nollywood, go to Hollywood, they will choose beauty over talent. Yeah. Oh yes, creative industry, they will choose. Even in choosing church. I know. I'm a witness. That I've heard the first day I came to your church, well, it was because someone came to me and said, come to our church. Our pastor is very fine and he speaks very well. Excuse me, He's fine, okay, yeah. And he speaks well, yes. But there's got to be a lot more than that. But what I'm saying is, this Babylonian system already placed a premium on looks. Are you still here? So if you just won that first genetic lottery, you already have a step forward. Have you ever seen, oh God, a pretty girl walk into a space? She has not said anything. People just favored her. She has not said a word. Just by how she looks and how she carries herself and she swishes into the room. All the guys' heads are turning and says, excuse me, can someone, 5 people are brought, can we do what? Yes, I'm telling you the truth. It is the Babylonian system. Why do you think they only choose women for marketing? They don't only choose women for marketing. They only choose women for marketing. But most often than not, a man will buy from a woman before he buys from a man. You see, these are the things I want to teach men. The Babylonian system has kept you somewhere. And if you don't have the keys to unlock it, you will struggle. And that's why men are struggling. Oh, yes. Men are struggling. Hold on. Wait. You know, is that... you that you are here. You are sitting in your cozy office, and 2 men walk in. Say, excuse me, we'd like to talk to you, Mr. Marcos. Already, you seen 2 men walking in. Your guards are up. Say, there's this product we are selling. What is your first thing? I'm not interested. You are seeing that their suit has drops of rain. So they came in the rain. And they're coming to accost you for something and say, say, I don't, we're not buying. We don't, it's not in our budget for this. You don't even let them land. Reverse. That'll be 2 ladies. And, they still have drops of water on their body. And they, good morning, sir. Are you cold? But that is the truth. See, this was what the master of the guy was commending. He says, this guy has studied the system and he knows how to work the system. Christians, you must learn how to work the systems. You must know. There's a system already in this world. Number 2 is pedigree. When they went there to pick them, they didn't pick anybody. They picked the children and the sons of nobles who already have charisma, who have stature, who have executive presence. They walk into a room, they've not said a word, and everybody's wondering who walked in. If you have that, in this Babylonian system, you already have an advantage. The good thing about... Okay, let me leave. Okay, backtrack a bit. I should have broken these sessions, So, pedigree talks about who's your father. Who's your father? When they went to bring them from slavery, they only chose people who have names. Hear me, my friend. It matters who your father is. But this is where I'm going. Your father might not have had a name that opened a door for you. But don't die without you leaving a name that opens a door for your sons. Don't do it. 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 Let me tell you what I am learning. My son just went off to school at the University of Houston in his freshman year. And I thought he got into a good school. And then I got talking to a professor who came from WashU. And he was telling me, oh, you know the University of Houston is the very base level when companies are recruiting. So they have Rice, they have Baylor, they have University of Dallas, University of Texas in Dallas, and then the one in Austin before the one in, and they just, it is a system. You wonder why certain people go to certain schools and they just come out. You heard that Google took them. You heard that Oracle took them. You heard that this company took them. It is a system. Instead of complaining, walk the system. So I told my son, I sat him down when I sat with the professor from WashU. I sat him down. I said, we have a plan now. You're going to finish your freshman year. Make sure you're in between 3.5 and 4.0. After your freshman year, in your sophomore year, we are transferring you based on your grades here. And it's easier to make those grades in University of Houston than where I want to take you to. So you're going to take those grades, and we're going to transfer it to a school where when you finish, employment is not an issue. Walk the system. You say, no, every school is a school. No, every school is a school. We will pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, as it's coming out, let the eyes of Microsoft, see, they already have a system. Just align with the system, and what the children of this world are wiser in their own. That's why people without prayer are getting better jobs than you. They have learned how to work the system. The next kind of people that they chose from Israel are people who are still malleable, who can be trained in the language of the Chaldeans. There's a language for success. If I'm hearing how you talk, I can tell whether you're going far or not. Every industry has a lingo. I was at Gas Tech. I'm a pastor. Gas Tech just finished last week. It was in Houston. It's where they're talking about the future of gas. And, you know, in Nigeria now we're in the decade of gas. And Anambra Basin is a big deal. See, you see, you're looking at me, and you're in this Port Harcourt. I'm speaking French now. And investors are gathering and all of this. and you see, there's a right to being a pastor. Everybody knows you. So I walk into the NMPC stand, not knowing anybody. Well, you just go, oh, Pastor Larry, you are here. Are you in oil and gas? I say, yes. He said, oh, so what's your field? Which area are you interested? I said, I'm very interested in gas capture and gas optimization. I've been thinking about it for a while. He said, I know who to talk to. Whilst I was doing that, I went to the NLNG stand, and I saw a man talking to Mano. Mano is the head honcho for Shell, and the one handling all their assets here. And I want to take a picture with Mano, so I was waiting for the guy to move out of the place and let me see the person. He was wearing Yoruba cap, and I wish I could show you. Those pictures are on my phone. I could show you. He was wearing, and then so I now walked past Mano, and this guy that's been talking to Mano for the last 30 minutes, just pulled my shirt. Say, Larry, come here. Very few people can still call me Larry. Say, Larry, come here. So I knew this one knows me from somewhere. I turned, and it was Laye Falade. Laye Falade is the MD of LNG in Brunei. And I used to crash in his house as a copper in this Port Harcourt. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm thinking of so and so. He said, no, I will take you to the person that is in charge of this and that. Why? I did my homework. I learned the language. Hear me. Don't go into a field you have not learned the language. They took the people who already can speak the language of the Chaldeans. Listen to me. Walk the system. Oh, I said, I just came here. I'm wondering where the business opportunities are in this gas thing because they say there is money in gas. Nobody. Nobody will take you serious. See, there's a language of success. Learn the language. One of the things I have learned is try to be like a fly on the wall where greatness is present. You see, many young people don't know how to behave when they find themselves in the midst of greatness. You are too much in a hurry to show what you know. And oftentimes, the only thing you showcase is your ignorance. You just be talking. You two want to do like you know. Just keep quiet and watch how they speak. I remember the first time I was in a room where all the greats, ministry-wise, that I've always admired, all of them were sitting on the same table. My pastor taking me along, and I was sitting on the table. I mean, everybody that is anybody that you know overseas that is a big man of God was in that room. And I was just there. I've shared this story in church. I was just I was just glad to be in the room. And then I'm watching them talk. So this is how they sound. When they talk, hey, Jesus. My God. This man is very smart. And they are talking and they're talking. I was so enamored looking at their mouth that when they said something, and they now asked me, my pastor said, Larry, what do you think? Think, me, think. I didn't come here to think. I wasn't thinking. What am I thinking? Think for what? What? I remember one of those days, I'd preached a week before a conference in Lagos, and when they called me up to do something, there was a lot of noise. So we went to the green room, and Dr. Mensa Otabil was now asking me, Dr. Mensa Otabil and Dr. Pastor Tudor Bismarck were now asking me, oh, Larry, you must have really done some really good work. What was it that you talked about that is making them react like that? If it was you, you will now be opening your Bible. So, no, actually, I was in John chapter 16. Do you know how long Dr. Mensa has been in ministry? Do you know how long Tudor Bismarck has been in ministry? I just generally told them, okay, I didn't say anything. They just like me. Yeah, and those people that were shouting is Port Harcourt people. That's how we are. We just like to shout. Are you still here? My friends, I'm conscious of my time, and I think my time is up, but I want to believe that you got something from this short presentation this afternoon. Whatever you do, walk the system.
Please remain standing. Let's remain standing. The front row will exit the hall now. They will exit the hall to the exhibition. We will not have to sit down again. Just remain standing. The front row will exit the hall into the exhibition just to have a look at what is going on downstairs. Please don't move. When they are out, we can join. Raffle draw tickets are still for sale. 6 winners were emerged today. So please buy your ticket if you haven't bought one. Okay, why are you doing like that? It's me that's supposed to do that handshake. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for Pastor Larry Oluseyi one more time. Once they exit the hall, the rest of us can... those who are supposed to speak today, the panelists, please, we'll do that tomorrow. Our time is fast spent. All the exhibitors that were scheduled earlier, please bear with us. Let's go straight into the exhibition hall and make contact. Like K.O. Baba said, don't be in a hurry to go. And